to another episode of Diving Deep with Shalita and Kareem. Tonight we have a hot topic we're going to touch on the presidential debate. We're going to give our thoughts on what we witnessed last night.
Yeah, in the words of the one news anchor, yeah, it was a shit show. But it, I mean, there were a lot of things that were revealed last night, and I don't mean just the topics that the candidates talked about. When I watched the debate, I paid more attention to personality traits and the things that the candidates are doing to one another. And on that sense, my opinions on the debate may be a little different, which is fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, especially when it comes down to politics. Um, I noticed that there was a lot of avoiding questions by both candidates. There was a lot of immaturity by both candidates. Men of that age, you expect them to be able to sit down and have a mature conversation, and they didn't do that. And I think that was a disservice to the American people. And we're putting on a show for the world, and it's not just Americans who are watching that show. There's other countries, other leaders of other countries, and what they see is the two potential candidates to lead the country, for the next 4 years. This is what it looks like, you know and for that, I think that was a very bad thing to put on display. I think the country would have been better off without that debate,
Mhm.
honestly. um, but as far as what I saw from the debate, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm really not a Biden supporter at all. He wouldn't have been the guy I would have picked, for different reasons. I'm not a person who's going to vote Democrat just because that's what Black people have historically done for the last 50 years. I'm the type of person, I want the candidate to earn my vote. What is it that I'm voting for? What is it that you're going to do for me, for my people, for this country, etc.? And that's what I need to know. I need to know that my vote is not just being cast a certain way because historically that's the way my ancestors have done it, because we need change in this country. We need to move in a better direction. We need more than what we've gotten as a people. And if we keep doing the same things, we can only expect the same result, and that's the definition of insanity, So when I look at the debate last night, I saw one thing I want to say about Donald Trump before I get into my opinions. When we go back to Obama, and Obama was handling his debates, one thing Obama will be credited with to this day is that he was charismatic. When it came down to debates, that was his arena. That was his strong point because he was eloquent. He was, well spoken, and he held his composure. And so when it came down to a debate, you weren't going to outright beat him. You weren't going to drag him out of his comfort zone. And that was the difference. And I think, Donald Trump last night, they said he was coached by Governor Christie on how to handle the debate. And you had Joe Biden, who was warned of a couple of sneak tactics that Donald Trump was going to employ, like speaking on his sons and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so both of them being warned of certain things is no different than you entering into a boxing ring. That's what a debate is. And, anybody who's ever boxed will tell you, once you start fighting, you have lost, because boxers don't fight, they box. Fighting doesn't require skill. Fighting is just you trying to defend yourself. And fighting is just you trying to injure your opponent. Boxing is the skill behind it. It's the art behind it. It's the Muhammad Ali, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Mm-hmm.
So with Donald Trump is not a debater. That's not his strong point. He does not have good public relations outside of his solid group of supporters, the people who have always supported him. He's not a person who's going to win too many people that he doesn't already have. So for Donald Trump, his thing that he needed to do was not lose what he already had. And so for Donald Trump, knowing that debating was not his strong point, knowing that Joe Biden potentially was the better debater, and that potentially Joe Biden, if he was allowed to speak, would have been able to speak on things that would have been more damaging to Donald Trump's campaign. Donald Trump made the point of not allowing him to speak, not allowing the event to actually be a debate. And Joe Biden was actually warned not to allow him. Don't allow him to take you there. He's going to try you. Don't let him pull you out of your element. And you know how they say you never argue with stupid people because they'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. Well, that's what happened last night. Donald Trump drug Joe Biden down to his level at the moment where, you know, and we sit up there and we hashtag it and we make memes out of it. Shut up, man. No, at that point, that was the gotcha. That's when Donald Trump knew he had him. When he stooped down to the point where he started insulting him, it was no longer a gentleman's event. It was now an ego-driven event. And Donald Trump is the king of ego.
Yeah.
So, you know, when it comes down to it, and now when you look at the campaign commercials today, they're saying outright Joe Biden is weak. They're not even cutting to the chase or sugarcoating it. They're straight up saying he's weak. And what happened last night was that's what Donald Trump made him look like. For one, Joe Biden didn't answer too many questions directly. The questions that he did try to answer that would have been damaging to Donald Trump made sure he cut him off. He said little things, little anecdotes, little, you know, things to aggravate him, to pull him off of his square. And once he got him off of his square, Donald Trump went in for the kill. Not only did he take control of Joe Biden and not let him speak when it was his 2 minutes, he took control of the moderator.
Yep.
And even when the moderator would say, Mr. Trump, you've had your 2 minutes, let him speak. Donald Trump did the little thing that he does with his fingers all the time. And he said whatever he wanted to say, regardless of what, you know, I think it was Chris Wallace, whatever he had to say. He took control of the debate. Donald Trump became the moderator. and the thing about it is that's why Trump supporters love him. Because he's that take charge type of guy. I'm going to say what I want type of guy. I don't respect any type of authority type of guy. And that's why his people love him. Because what Donald Trump has done, he didn't create more racist people. He emboldened people who were racist in private to come out in public. That's what he did. He gave them the courage to be who they were behind closed doors. You know, so by him,
like back in the day when America was great and they were able to do that.
Yeah, he look, come back out of the shadows. That's what, you know, that's what making America great again is about.
Yeah.
So what happened is, you know, and I hate to put Joe Biden in that category, but he really did make him look like he was incapable of taking control. Because what I believe Joe Biden should have done is, at the moment where he's seen Donald Trump's strategy, he had to adapt. He failed to show that he had the ability to adapt in that situation by saying, look, Mr. Moderator, Chris, you know, we came here to have a mature event. I came on this platform, CNN or whoever hosted the debate. I came here because I believe this network was capable of hosting a mature event. And I see that my opponent here will not respect the rules, and the American people deserve a better show of decency than what is being put on right here. And I will not lower myself to the standard of what is being put on display for the American people. The American people deserve better. So I will step out of this debate respectfully for the American people. And as soon as he would have done anything to that notion, you got to realize that debate last night was basically the Super Bowl for the network who hosted it. They had over 100 million people tuned into that debate. they are not going to mess up a show with ratings like that. They are
Yeah.
not going to, because the commercials or anything involved with that event, the super high ratings and the amount of money that comes into it, you're not even letting Donald Trump mess that up. They would have immediately went to commercial break. They'd ironed out whatever needed to be ironed out. Look, Donald Trump, if we have to, we will cut your mic off during the 2 minutes, because now they're talking
Yeah.
about it doing it today. It would have been handled last night. So he didn't handle it. He didn't adapt. He didn't rise to the occasion, as I'll say. And what he did was, he didn't just make Joe Biden look weak on the American stage. This is, when you're talking about Vladimir Putin and you're talking about, Russia and China and all these other countries, he showed that Joe Biden may not have the power, or he may not have you know, the fortitude to stand up to some of these other leaders of other countries. And that's something that, if you can look at the debate unbiasedly, that's something that even some of Joe Biden's supporters might have seen last night. But definitely CNN saw it, because as soon as the debate went off, everything was damage control. Everything was, let's bash Donald Trump, bash Donald Trump, bash Donald Trump, to make Joe Biden look more effective in the debate than he was. Again, I'm not a Trump supporter. What I am is unbiased. I really don't care about either politician, either candidate, because I'm not interested in what either one of them plan to do for me as a person. I don't believe either one of them have my best interest. But what I saw in that debate was, a lot of people aren't going to agree, but Joe Biden did not win. Because, for one, he avoided questions like the Supreme Court justice question. And then when they brought Kamala on right afterwards, Kamala Harris, she also avoided the question. So you're not going to give people the answers to the questions that they really want to know. That's a problem, and I'm pretty sure they have their reasons for it, because their actual answer will be something that Donald Trump's party will be able to run with and cause more damage to, the Biden Harris campaign. So last night's debate, if I had to call a winner, unfortunately, it would be Donald Trump, because what he did was, he took Joe Biden out of his element. He
Mm-hmm.
brought Joe Biden into Donald Trump's world. And that's Donald Trump. He's going to insult you. He's going to belittle you. He's going to hit you with low blows. He's going to talk about your son. You knew that going into it, and I do think Joe Biden handled it pretty well initially, because when you talk about somebody's kids, all gloves come off, especially when, the sensitive nature of Joe Biden's children, not that they're children, but they're children, his children. But, so for any man to sit up there and hold his composure and not come across the podium, I do respect him for that and commend him for that. And eventually, at some point, the average person was like, look, man, screw this debate. It ain't even about a debate no more. You're talking about my children. And I do commend Joe Biden for holding his composure together, because the average person, Donald Trump, he can be a very aggravating person if that's who he chooses to be. And that's the tactic that he employed for that debate. And now that Donald Trump has exposed his hand, I hope in the next debate, Joe Biden is more prepared for that.
Yeah.
Because you can't survive two debates like that.
Mm-mm.
You can't allow him to drag you into that arena and then take control of the whole forum. It just doesn't look good.
Yeah.
So, that's my opinion on that. And like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm not a Trump supporter, just being unbiased on the things that I saw. And hopefully, I can open up some, minds to another perspective of what got laid out there, because it's really bigger than memes and bigger than internet jokes and, bad things happen in Philadelphia. Like, you pissed me off with that one too. But, I'm from Philly. So, of course, I'm going to take that personally. Then he had a lot to say about Pennsylvania, and some of the things he had to say about Pennsylvania, about the shutdown being political. I can see that, because even my daughter's school is shut down until right after Election Day.
Mm-hmm.
And after Election Day, then after the election, they're going to do a reevaluation as to whether or not they're going to open up the schools or not. There's a lot. There's probably a lot going on that we don't know and we can speculate on, and I don't want to get into that. But I'm just hoping that the next debate will be a more mature event. And I hope that Joe Biden commands more respect in the next event. That way he can give the people a debate that's not a shit show. Like I said, I hope the next debate is better. I hope the next debate is actually a debate because that wasn't it last night. Last night was it wasn't. I mean, they might as well had that, Showtime at the Apollo or Def Comedy Jam. It was comedic. Most people will admit they turned in for the comedic value of the debate and not
I
not
did.
actually not actually hearing the platforms of either candidate. Nothing was really discussed. Most people didn't take away any information from that debate that was going to be valuable for them the next day. You can't say that you learned more about Trump's campaign and what he intends to do, or Biden's campaign and what he intends to do. It was two children throwing insults back and forth. And that's what we got from it. We got from it that the two candidates that we got running for the country, like they are, both of them are unworthy of the position. And so I'm ended there, and that's pretty much all I got to say about that.
Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe, and look out for our next video.